And we're starting in three, two, one. Welcome back to Epstein Files Review, episode 26. As always, this is an 18 and up channel, so if you are under the age of 18, we're going to have to ask you to leave. So we're going to start with our last file recap, as always, and that was file 2500, which was this framed photo of Jeffrey and a young lady, looks like pecking him on the cheek. We've got a view out here in the background. I don't know if this is the United States. It looks foreign. Maybe it's Europe. And that's a jacket. I almost thought that was a dog for a second. So let's jump right back down the rabbit hole and start with our first file of the day. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so now we have a picture here. There's that cord we were talking about from the photographer. We saw that in a few files. So there's a reflection, but you could see here there's a photo of a picture on the dock. I'm almost positive we saw this in one of Jeffrey's houses. So maybe they're in Jeffrey's house. This woman right here, oh, yep, that's his wife. So this is, I believe, Woody Allen. I don't want to get the name wrong. I might be confusing him with Tim Allen, but this is Woody Allen. And this used to be his stepdaughter. He divorced his wife and married the daughter. So, of course, he would be hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. That's right up his alley. And you have these individuals here. We don't really know who these people are. This guy kind of looks like John Kerry, but I know that's not him. Just kind of resemblance in the face. But we do have a celebrity sighting here. Woody Allen and his wife, aka his stepdaughter. And this redaction is just the FBI reflections that got in the picture. Moving right along. So hopefully we're out of this compound, but we'll see. So far, so good. All right, looks like they're playing cards or something like that. I don't know if this is someone doing a magic trick. I don't know who this individual is, but this is the same picture. All right, here is a redacted photo once again. It's so redacted I can't even make out what's in it. Looks like there's maybe a rooftop or something. There are people, lots of people standing around. One, two, three. And I see hair here and a hand. So this is like a close-up of a young girl. I'm assuming this is, I don't know what this is. We see a hand here and an arm. Hopefully we can get a better look at this photo. For the photographer, that was a terrible photo. I don't know if he wanted to try a different angle. Okay, I don't know if this is wearing the same jacket, but this kind of looks like, I don't know if this is the island. You can see the water, see the sand here. It's kind of hard to make out because it's a black and white picture, but this is another young person in a skirt, face redacted. Same picture, just from a different angle here. All right, we're back in the compound. So here is that room with the barrel drums. They really just threw all of this stuff together, but we're going to be sifting. We're minors. Here's this computer equipment again. All right, here's a close-up of a Hewlett-Packard. Looks like a monitor here. Not a monitor, but a computer or some sort of a device that you would use for storage. An electric panel door looks like here. You almost wish they just kept all the compound pictures together. Here's the serial number. Because we've been in this compound for 3, going on 4 episodes now. There's another side angle of the serial numbers. Now, we do know they were serving warrants for electrical appliances and equipment, so that might be why they're so heavy on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've got this here. I don't know if there were 8 of these, but that's electrical equipment. Probably for a computer or some sort of audio surveillance. Here's a close-up. I don't know if this says exactly what this is. Western Digital. This almost looks like one of those storage banks or something for a computer. I could be wrong. If you know what it is, as always, throw that in the comment section. There's another side look of that box there. Another side view of the box. Another side view of the box. I don't know if these are duplicates. I know someone mentioned in the comment section before that this was probably done intentionally to basically make your search and your investigation as difficult as possible. Here's this bank here with all those wires. So I'm assuming some of those boxes that they pulled out might have been from here. If you look really closely right here, this almost looks like slots that you would put those boxes in. So that might be any stored video that would be on those boxes right there in the Ethernet cords. So they're just getting any type of surveillance that they can get, which would be really important because the only way you're going to see what happened or what was going on Little St. James is if you got these audio visual tapes. Here's a monitor for a computer. We are 20% through today's episode or this episode. And as promised, I'm going to be putting that uh, redone episode 3 with audio after this video. I know I've been saying that for a while, but that will be out today. Here's the DVD. So I guess he was burning these tapes on DVD. All right, here's a serial number. All right, here's another look at those jumbled wires there. Another close-up of those wires. So yeah, they're really looking into this electrical surveillance equipment. Rightfully so. There's another look at that. We are 25% through today's episode. More wires there. Just wires everywhere. It looks like a fire hazard. Okay, so we've got the firewall router, some labeling there. Moving right along. All right, here's a close-up of all of those wires. Just look at all that stuff. What was he doing that he needed this much surveillance equipment? Okay, so they've got an image here. I don't know what that is. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. Even turning it a couple angles, I can't really make out what that is. If anybody knows, please put that in the comment section. All right, here's another look at this device, Apple ID. So maybe it has something to do with a computer. It doesn't really look like it, though. It looks like something that would go on a lawnmower or something. I don't know. Like that plastic portion that's on the top. All right, so I don't know if this is their list. Apple ID number 1, guest, pet name, Firebird, Bulls, favorite team. Can't really make anything out in regards to the words that are on that piece of paper. Here's another piece of electrical equipment. So they're just gathering all the electronics in Little St. James. There's another look at that computer. All right, here's another server board. All right, and more of these labeled cards. So they must have pulled these out of this computer. And they're keeping everything labeled. Unify server, zone B, building 2, room E. All right, here's another look at one of those inserts there, hard drive. So it is a hard drive. It says right there, this is a data center hard drive. So all of the goodies, as far as if anything was recorded, I don't know if he looped his tapes, it would be on those cards. There it is. It's kind of like a SIM card for your cell phone. It's gonna intel and have all of the information pertaining to that device. There's another electrical device. So that's very smart and important on their part. So I'm not gonna complain too much about the fact that they're getting all of these pictures of this electrical equipment. There it is again, because that is going to be the meat and potatoes of finding out what happened if anything was recorded. We are 40% through today's episode. Here's another look at that box, a little corroded there. Moving right along. All right, here's another look at the side of this, those switches and the DVD thing. We saw that earlier. So I don't know if they disassembled it, but we did see that earlier. This wasn't, unless this is a different hard drive. I mean, it's kind of dusty, so maybe this was just a additional one that wasn't in that tower. But nonetheless, they're gathering all of the electrical equipment for the investigation. There it is again. You know, it's funny. So Epstein supposedly dies, and Ghislaine Maxwell gets thrown in prison, and we didn't hear anything about what was on these. I'm sure they reviewed every last one of them, and they put the files together. We never saw the content that was on those tapes. So we've got some names here: Carrie Crott and Jacqueline Smith. I don't know the significance of that, or if that was the FBI personnel that was gathering all of this information and then they accidentally put their names in the files. I hope that wasn't the case for their sake. All right, here's another HP card there. Here's a corroded one. So it seems like these things were just all over the place. Just tons of electronic equipment. Another picture of that. I mean, dozens of laptops. There's another one. So I don't know if each of these had a significant purpose. There's another duplicate. So that one had, what, a 4 on the back. This one has a 5. So these are different ones. They're just labeling them. But there's a lot of storage servers here. 6. And they're just taking pictures of each one. All right, so we are outside again. Thank God. Maybe we could stay outside, but we'll see. I don't know if this was, let me see, emergency. We've got these little cooler things here. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just like a wheelbarrow of some sort. But let's get into it. So many side buildings. All right, there's another angle of this little building. It's almost like a little storage unit, little, I don't want to say garage, a little shed of some sort. Another side angle. You can kind of see the ocean there. All right, so there's 2 of them. There's that little alleyway. Moving right along. All right, so we got some doors open. This almost looks like it's an outdoor shower area, if I were to guess. But we'll see. All right, here we are, another angle with the door open. All right, another angle with the door open. So they're just showing all the little doors. There's another angle of this area here. I don't know if that's just a toilet or what, but I'm sure we'll be finding out shortly. Another angle, they're just getting all angles. They took pictures from the front, the side, now that side. We are 60% through today's episode. All right, so another close-up angle of this door here. All right, so it is a toilet. You got some toilet paper in the corner. You know, for a person that had an island, you would think you'd have a better looking half bathroom there. That looks kind of disgusting, but you know, it is what it is. Maybe disgusting bathrooms for disgusting individuals. Let me make sure we looked at this one. Okay, so here's another, the sink. Another look at this bathroom. Got something disgusting on the wall there. Doesn't look like it had much maintenance. You got the side window there. So I don't know if this was just like the maintenance guy's bathroom or what, but it's pretty disgusting. All right, moving right along. Here's that sink again near the door. So it's just a sink and a toilet. All right, here's another angle from the outside. All right, so yeah, we got a little shower here. I could kind of tell just by the tile that this was going to be some sort of outdoor shower. Maybe just to get the sand off of your feet if you're in the ocean. And there's the wall there, the little light fixture. I mean, light switch. And there's the outside door. All right, so this is another bathroom. It's got different tile. It's a lot cleaner. Looks a lot better. So this is kind of like an outdoor bathroom area. Maybe if he was having an event or something like that, he used these for his guests, perhaps. My guesstimate, here's a dimmer picture of the same thing. There's the sink. And we are 70% through today's episode. All right, here's that sink. It's a little brighter there. Looks like the window got busted out somehow. All right, here's some working equipment, Connex box. So maybe these are the bathrooms that his workers used. Maybe that's why it looks so disgusting. All right, here's a wide view of some equipment. So maybe this is for breaking up ground and some of the renovations he was doing on the island. Here's a side view on the side of that Connex box there. Moving right along. All right, so this looks like some sort of light here. And you've got these little cubbies here that were probably just storage. You got a little golf cart there. There's another door over here. We'll see if we get to see what's in there. Moving right along. All right, so here's a more lit version of that last picture. You can see there's just maintenance equipment in there. Lots and lots and lots of maintenance rooms. It appears there's a lot of people working on this property. There's that four-wheeler. Looks a little rusted out. So yeah, you got a cooler, some drills. So this is just a work area. All right, so here is a top view. As you can see, it's a lot lower down here. So it kind of slopes up, but the top portion of these little giant sheds, there's a caterpillar. This is the view from the inside, and you got a floodlight thing here. All right, closer look at that equipment. So that kind of lighting would be used for doing construction at night, I'm assuming. So he's got the roller here for if they lay out some cement. So this is the equipment that he was using to renovate his island. It looks kind of rusted, so I'm assuming he owns this equipment. Some ski-doos back there. All right, here's another look at the corner of that shed. All right, some ski-doos. There's that floodlight, caterpillar. So this is where he stored his construction equipment. Other side view of the ski-doo. All right, random equipment there. Another view of the ski-doo. He's got a saw here. So this is just another maintenance room. Another view of the ski-doos. Side view of these floodlights here. Man, how many maintenance rooms does he have? Here's the door of the shed. Little handprint covered in grease there. And we are 90% through today's episode. All right, we've got some buckets here. Maybe that's some oil or some grease. Some Havaline. As always, thank you for everyone that's going through these files that really don't have too much pertinence, but like I said, we're looking for gems. We said we were going through every single file, so that's what we're doing. So we're going to mull through these to get to the gems. Lots of buckets there. All right, you got this giant hole in the wall. You can see there's some rebar there. Someone busted through this wall, so I don't know if he's knocking this wall down, but there it is. There's a giant hole in the wall. All right, some more rusted equipment there. All right, got some rope, some oil, all maintenance stuff. All right, here's another door. some machinery and oil. All right, some discarded equipment here. This looks like maybe it's brake pad or something like that. It's just random junk. Another view of this. You got some fan belts here. Looks like just discarded stuff from them working on things. Here's another close-up of this giant hole in the wall. We are at file 99. More equipment laying around. And the last file of this episode, file 2600, is that entryway. So this wasn't the most exciting set of 100 files, but like I said, we've got to get through them. We're always mulling. So take from that what you will. We did get some good pictures of the server cards and things like that. So it looks like they did recover a lot of electrical equipment in this set of 100 files. Like I said, if there's nothing in the 100 files that we cover, I'm not going to make the episodes too long. No sense in talking really long about mundane files. But as always, we move forward to get to the gems, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. I may put another episode out, seeing as this one didn't have any real meat on it, but we did get through it as always. I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed, that continue to comment and share and repost these files on all of your social media so we make people aware of the fact that someone's actually going through the files. But that's enough said. I will see you guys in the next episode. You guys take care.